Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kristie, and today's episode is all about cheating. So watch yourself, and let's get into the first story.
Am I the asshole for kicking out my brother, who our parents have previously disowned, because he told my now ex-fiancé that I cheated 9 years ago?
Is she your ex-fiancé because he told her you cheated? Was he lying? I don't know. I have a lot of questions.
For reference, my brother, Connor, is 19, I am 26, and my now ex-fiancé, Hunter, is 28. Also for reference, as was mentioned in the title, my brother was kicked out when he was 16, because our parents snooped through his phone and found out he was gay. Connor had a birthday last weekend, so he invited his friends over, 18 to 22-year-olds, and they were all drinking and playing games. Hunter and I were about to head out to let them have the place to themselves, when Connor asked if we wanted to join them. I initially refused, bit too old to be playing drinking games, but he insisted, and Hunter thought it'd be fun to act like a college student again. We all got pretty drunk, and Connor had the idea of playing Never Have I Ever. A few rounds in, the statement, "Never have I ever cheated before," came up.
Uh-oh.
Now's a good time to mention that Hunter is staunchly against cheating. His ex-fiancé cheated on him, and it emotionally wrecked him. And unfortunately, as a lot of dumb, immature 17-year-olds do, I cheated on my boyfriend of 5 months. It was a stupid mistake, he found out, and, understandably, ended things. This was almost a decade ago. I obviously learned my lesson and look back at that time with shame, and obviously never cheated since. Well, my brother knows about this, so when I didn't drink, he said, "Hey sis, what the hell? You know you cheated on insert X's name. You have to drink to that."
Wow, brother throwing you under the bus.
My fiancé paused, looked at me, looked at him, and then just walked out of the room. I followed him and tried to talk, to tell him that it was a stupid teenage mistake, but he wasn't having any of it and ended things on the spot.
She didn't even cheat on him. This was 10 years ago with someone else, and he's like, nope, once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't care if you were a teenager. Goodbye.
Yeah, there's no room for growth in Hunter's eyes, I guess.
Okay.
I'm numb. I'm heartbroken. He was my everything and more, and I still don't know how I'm going to move on. Connor tried to apologize, but I feel nothing but sadness and emptiness. This morning, I served him an eviction notice. He begged me to stay and said he didn't mean to ruin my relationship, and he just didn't think when he said those words. I just can't look at him right now. He ruined my life. After I raised him and cared for him like he was my own, I feel so hurt. Am I being unreasonable?
I feel like a little bit, yeah, you are the asshole. You want to be forgiven for a stupid mistake that you made when you were 17, but you're not willing to forgive your brother for a stupid mistake he made when he was 19. And I feel like his mistake isn't even as bad. How is he supposed to know that was like a big secret?
That is true. I don't think OP said anything to imply that he knew that you were keeping this from your fiance.
I mean, yeah, it's not like your proudest moment and not something you want to bring up, but you're playing Never Have I Ever. You can't cheat.
There's no cheating in Never Have I Ever. This is a sacred game.
It's not Connor's fault you didn't own up to it and tell your current partner that when you were a teenager, you were dumb and cheated on your boyfriend of only 5 months.
But let's take a second to address that Hunter just ended that relationship at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, I mean, I get that he has past trauma around cheating, but like, he's proposed to this woman. He's planning a life with her, and he's just like, nope, you made a stupid mistake when you were a teen. We are done.
Yeah, a decade ago, you made a mistake. You're a completely different person a decade later, right?
I do feel like, cheating is cheating, and like, from a very young age, you should know that it is wrong.
Oh, OP doesn't say at any point that she was proud of what she did, right? She knows she did something wrong.
I was like, but I did so much dumb stuff as a teenager that I'm not proud of either.
Oh, right. The stuff that you do as a teenager is the stuff that keeps you up at night in your 30s as you think about how cringy you used to be.
My teenage years were just one long cringe fest. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about that time. It was so awful.
Do you remember Frosted Tips?
Oh yeah, those were so hot. Oh my gosh.
I totally had Frosted Tips.
Did you? Oh, you were so sexy, I bet.
So I can't really judge OP for cheating. Frosted Tips are probably worse.
You were a product of the times.
Top comment. I'm going to say everyone sucks here. Why your brother is the asshole. Bringing up your regretful teenage mistake is a huge no-no. I don't know why he would think exclaiming to everyone, "Hey everyone, my sister is a cheater," was a great move. But I get that it was because he was drunk. Alcohol does make you do stupid things. I can easily see how the lack of judgment caused by inebriation could lead to him thinking that was an acceptable thing to do. Why your fiancé is the asshole. Probably the most controversial of them, but I think your ex-fiancé sucks the most. I get being hurt in the past because of cheating. I know that pain all too well, but he's holding a mistake you made when you were a teenager against you. Assuming you're being honest, you never cheated on him. You've never given any indication that you did, and the relationship was otherwise fulfilling. Breaking off an engagement over something you did a decade ago is overkill.
I agree with that. Unless she has explicitly told him in the past, I have never cheated. If she lied about that and he found out that she lied, I would be mad about that, and I might consider that breakup worthy, because if she's lying about that and it wasn't even me she cheated on, what else is she lying about?
I would say if I caught my fiance in that big of a lie, it might be storm out territory for me, not end the relationship on the spot territory.
Yes, I think storm out, take some time to cool off, have an adult discussion, decide if you want to move forward with the engagement.
Why, you're the asshole. You're misdirecting your anger. I get being upset because your fiancé left you, but I think that's more of a fiancé problem than a brother problem. From your story, he wasn't being malicious and he's obviously remorseful. No great relationship should end that suddenly and without warning, especially considering it happened a decade ago. I wouldn't let this blip ruin an otherwise good relationship with your brother. Forgive him.
Yeah, I kind of agree with all of that. Like, I don't really blame your brother.
You can be a little mad at your brother, and I get that you're very hurt in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But if your brother outs a lie that you've been living for, like, however long you've been dating this person, that's an excuse to be mad at him for like a month.
Yeah, kicking him out when he has no other support seems extreme.
Yeah, he's only 19, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's his birthday.
What a crappy birthday. He was just having fun, getting drunk, playing Never Have I Ever. And then disaster.
OP replied to that, "Hey, I appreciate your thorough analysis of the situation. I know you're right. He didn't mean to hurt me. He just doesn't think sometimes. I love my brother. I want to forgive him. But every time I look at him, I just see sadness and anger. I'm going to schedule my first therapy appointment today. Thank you for your judgment."
Okay, well, therapy sounds good. And I think your ex-fiancé needs therapy too, but I don't know if you can convince him to do that now.
Yeah, this might be a good case for couples therapy if you can convince him to join you.
I still don't think you should kick out your brother while you're getting therapy. Like, maybe just ignore him and give him the silent treatment for a month while you're doing therapy until you sort through your feelings.
Yeah, I feel like maybe let cooler heads decide, because he's already been kicked out by his parents and now he's getting kicked out by his sister.
And like, how long is she giving him to move out and find a new place?
I assume whatever is legally mandated in their country.
Hopefully by then she's cooled off, and it lets him stay.
You're the asshole. Brother did you a huge favor. The cheating was a decade ago and wasn't on him. The fact that he got mad over something that happened before you were dating is a giant red flag. Frankly, I think your ex is the biggest asshole of the three of you, and you're lucky it ended now instead of later. I know you're hurt, but you would have been hurt a lot worse if this relationship was allowed to continue.
Yeah, right? What happens if he found this out while you guys were already married and had a kid? Would he have still stormed out and divorced you?
Yeah, like, this is the type of truth that gets out eventually, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, everybody in the family knows. It's going to come up in conversation at some point.
Yeah, and like they said, it's better to get it out early. Am I the asshole for keeping my reception venue when I couldn't get a refund?
I mean, you paid for it, so why not use it?
I'll admit this one's a little cheating adjacent.
Okay.
My fiancé cheated on me and I found out about 6 weeks ago. I called off our wedding. Sorry to be so matter-of-fact about it, but I'm still not okay. I managed to get partial refunds on almost everything. The photographer only kept $200 of our deposit. Our church doesn't charge members for using it for weddings, but they also did not allow alcohol in their reception hall, so we booked that separately. The venue had a strict policy of not giving back any money without 3 months' notice. Since I only gave a month and a half and had paid in full, I was getting nothing back. I was pissed.
Nothing at all back? Usually, like, they keep like half of it as a deposit and give you the rest back, but they made her pay in full at 3 months and won't give anything back? That seems extreme.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what percentage our venue kept if we called off the wedding, but they definitely had a clause in the contract that if they could rebook the time slot, you got like a almost full refund.
Yeah, and that was nice. I mean, not that we needed it.
My brother actually came up with a plan. We held a party with a Mario Kart tournament. We had a huge screen and projector. I knew I had a bunch of friends with the night free, so we did that instead. 20 and 30-something idiots playing a children's game for bragging rights. We had a blast. I felt like I was in college again. I had sent my ex her part of every deposit, but obviously nothing for that venue. I have not heard from her, but the venue wanted me to release the date. I said I would if they gave me a refund. They refused, so I refused.
Yeah, stick it to them. They don't deserve to have it back if you're paying for it. You pay for it, you get it.
Right? Like, what do you mean the venue asked you to release the date? Give me my money back then.
I paid for it. I can use it for whatever I want, even if it's not a wedding.
Because if they're asking you to release the date, it sounds like they've got a couple that's looking for something last minute, right?
Yeah.
They're going to get their money, and the wedding is probably going to buy a bunch of extras, whereas you are just a bunch of guys with a TV screen.
It sounds like it would have been better for the venue to give you back your money and then book it with someone else who is going to be a bigger spender than you. Because it sounds like they had someone lined up.
Since we got the catering separately, I didn't even need to tip the staff.
Wow, he really didn't spend any extras there.
Now I am hearing that I screwed over the venue and staff by taking up room that they could have rented to a different event. Some people are saying that I kept someone from having a beautiful wedding there. I don't care. I don't owe the venue an opportunity to be paid twice. I honestly would have accepted it if they had kept our 30% deposit, but they kept the whole thing. We didn't leave a mess, so they probably saved on janitorial services. Was I the asshole?
Not the asshole. You didn't screw the venue and the staff over. The venue screwed the venue and the staff over.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just give you back your money and rebook?
If they really want to fill in that space with another event, there was a very easy solution.
I feel like they were just playing chicken with you and wanted you to give it up, and then they get double paid. And you called their bluff and were like, nope, we're having a Mario Kart party, which honestly sounds fun.
Yeah, the venue sold you that time slot, and you offered it back to them for, it sounds like 70% of what you paid for it. And they said, no, we want all the money and all the benefits. What benefit is there to you in saying, yeah, sure, you can have the slot back?
None, except, you don't have to deal with the hassle of planning on something to do with that space for that time.
If the venue's going to be this petty about the money, I would almost be willing to send somebody to just sit in that room for the time slot. Angrily, just one guy.
I am bringing my folding lawn chair and a book, and we are camping out there. I paid for it. I'm using it. But Mario Kart tournament was actually a really, really smart idea.
I mean, if you can't have a wedding, that's a good second choice, yeah. The comments are making pretty much the same points we did. Sounds like they kept someone from having a beautiful wedding there, not the asshole. You played by their rules, and they're mad they couldn't get double paid.
I also just want to know who is planning a wedding and booking a venue 6 weeks out.
Somebody who had something happen with their other venue and is now desperate, right? Or maybe like a work conference. It's not necessarily a wedding.
Yeah.
Businesses have become completely unreasonable. The art of being reasonable is gone and replaced by everyone wanting to become rich. Every business owner thinks it's their destiny to become rich. Ain't it enough to provide value, employ staff, and pay yourself? It's a simple business transaction. OP is paying for the use of the venue. He is tied into that. The venue is being unreasonable to try and double book without any restitution to OP. The simple solution would be to refund OP and take the second booking. No one is out of pocket, as that's the entire point of the non-refundable payment. Kudos to OP having a game tournament rather than wallow in self-pity.
I mean, yeah, that does sound more fun than moping around the house on that day.
Hey, if you're liking this video so far, hit that subscribe button.
We really appreciate your support, and it lets us know we should keep making fun videos like this for you guys to enjoy.
Am I the asshole for not saying anything about the underwear?
What are you going to say about the underwear? What underwear?
My 20-year-old daughter and her fiancé are currently staying with us. I love my daughter, but she is very difficult and I can't stand her fiancé. I gave them a deadline to move out because I can't take this anymore. They got into a massive fight the other day while my wife was out. I guess a pair of my wife's underwear got in with their laundry.
Oh no.
And she thought he was cheating.
Oh no.
I think the fact she immediately jumped to cheating shows how bad their relationship is.
It kind of does, especially when you're living with other people. You don't go around and check first, hey, is this your underwear?
That's a good point. I didn't even consider the fact that, yeah, when you're living with other people, you're usually like, oh, this must be mom's.
Plus, I was helping with the family laundry for years. I know what my mom's underwear looks like. Unfortunately.
She was waving the underwear around, and I recognized them because they had a floral print. But I just let this ridiculous fight go on.
I might too. That it's entertaining.
My wife came home after about 30 minutes and said they were hers. My wife asked if I didn't realize they were hers, and I accidentally laughed.
No, that was your mistake. You just play dumb at that point.
You absolutely play dumb at that point. You do not accidentally laugh even if it kills you. My daughter burst into tears and won't talk to me. Her fiancé said we're fucked and left the house, but my wife thought it was funny. So are they the asshole?
I mean, yes, you're the asshole, but I can't say I would have done any different. If that makes me an asshole too, so be it.
You're the asshole, but it was entertaining, so was it worth being the asshole might be a better question, right?
I don't know. I feel a little bad because this is his daughter, but like he is not a fan of this relationship, so I can kind of see why he let it go on.
It does make me kind of wonder, like, is he just sick of this garbage? And he's like, oh, they're fighting again.
Yeah, he's been living with them, and if they're fighting about this, I'm sure they're fighting about a lot of things all the time, and he's sick of it, but this one at least was entertaining.
Top comment, you might be the asshole, but I am living for it. My personal verdict is you're the asshole, but I'd like to invoke Shipman versus Frickboy, which states that in times of outlandish or otherwise infantile behavior, assholery may, subject to scrutiny, be permitted.
I like that. I agree. This is one of those instances.
And they quoted a very real legal case, so can't argue with that.
I do love it when people cite their sources.
Everyone sucks here, including me, because I laughed too.
Yeah, everyone sucks except Mom. She did take ownership, but she did also think it was funny in the end, so maybe she is a little bit also sucking there.
So Reddit's verdict is you're an asshole, but the comments say at least you're a funny asshole. Am I the asshole for calling my brother, let's just shorten this insult to man baby, after he commented about my wife's makeup?
Oh no, what did he say about your wife's makeup? Was it insulting? It's gotta be insulting.
I'm still pissed as hell, but maybe I went too far here. My brother and I are both late 30s. We get along fine most of the time, but my brother doesn't do well in a lot of social situations. He says things that are inappropriate, gets overly opinionated, yells a lot, etc. He just doesn't seem to understand tact or when to let things go in a casual conversation.
Well, he sounds fun to be around.
Our wives are best friends. They talk almost every day on FaceTime. My wife is an ex-model and actress, local, and is very good with makeup. She's in her mid-30s, we have 3 kids, and she doesn't wear much makeup anymore. But she got some as a gift for Christmas and decided she wanted to get more. Apparently she's been buying cheap stuff, and she wanted to splurge on some good shit.
As one does.
Anyway, she's been testing it all out over the last month, buying more here and there and doing these crazy eyeshadow things. Honestly, I don't know what I'm talking about. She looks great all the time. She's gorgeous without makeup. She's really talented with it, though, and she's having a lot of fun. I tease her a little since she works from home and she's wearing pajamas, but her makeup looks like she's at a nightclub. I think it's cute and funny.
She wants to be glam, but still comfy.
There must be a term for that. Pajama glam?
I like that.
My brother thinks she's doing it because she's cheating or she wants to cheat. He called me this morning to say he's concerned because he's seen her on FaceTime and he's decided she must be posting pictures or sending pics to some dude or multiple dudes.
What? Can't a girl just play with makeup because it's fun?
I tried to blow it off and explain that it wasn't that way, but he got more aggressive about it. So I ended up yelling at him and called him an insecure, testicle-grabbing, chauvinistic man-baby.
Well, that is quite an insult, but perhaps not undeserved.
He's being ridiculous and needs to mind his own business, but I think I might be the asshole for blowing up and name-calling when he's probably well-intentioned. I want to add, too, my mom and brother have both asked, maybe other people will. No, I haven't asked my wife why she's recently starting to wear more makeup, and I'm not going to because I think asking is fucking rude.
I like this man. He is supporting his wife and her hobbies.
Yeah, be supportive of your spouse, but I'm not sure I would consider it rude to ask your spouse, like, hey, you've been on a makeup kick lately, what's up?
Oh yeah, I guess that isn't rude. You would do that to me.
I wouldn't mean it in any rude way. More just like trying to be interested in you and what you're up to. She's spending her money on stuff for her face, and it's a creative hobby. I'm not going to be the dick that ruins someone's creative outlet by asking them to justify it, or by insinuating there's a sinister motive behind it. It makes her happy, so I assume that's why she's doing it. Asking why is dumb and insulting in my opinion.
If suddenly starting to wear makeup and play around with makeup is the only sign that she might be cheating, yeah, your brother is way overreacting. Also, brother, just bring it up and be like, hey, have you considered that she might be cheating? I'm concerned about that. And if your brother says, no, she's not, I'm not concerned about that at all, stop pestering him about it. It's his marriage.
Or brother, instead of jumping straight to the cheating accusation, ask why she's been wearing makeup so often lately. There's polite ways to ask a question. Reddit says not the asshole. Top comment. When I wear makeup, I do it for me. Not my husband or any other man. Me. Many women are the same way. Your brother jumping to, she wants to cheat because she is wearing makeup again, is absolute misogynistic garbage, and he needed addressing down. You sounded great and seemed to really love and appreciate your wife as well as understand what being supportive means. Keep it up. OP replied to that, see, this is how I generally assume women are about makeup. Thanks for validating that. I tried to point out to my brother that a lot of what she's doing isn't even sexy makeup, it's more theatrical? I don't know. It looks like face art to me. Sometimes it's really pretty. 3 days ago, she was a drag king with a glitter beard. Whatever. I just think she's having fun and I like it.
Those glitter beards are something.
Is this a thing?
Oh, yes. But you're never getting the glitter off of anything. You will be finding glitter in your beard for years.
I have never seen this.
I feel like it was a trend a couple years ago and like people were doing it for Christmas and doing like a full red glitter beard or whatever, like green. I don't know.
Like women?
No, men.
Oh.
I don't know why his wife has one, but this was a trend with the men, the bearded men a few years ago was the glitter beard. And it's just your beard just like caked in glitter.
Oh, yeah, that does sound hard to get out. I was really confused when you like started saying that you get glitter all through your beard. I'm like, I don't think his wife has a beard.
No, I don't know why. I mean, I guess she was going for drag king, so she got a fake beard and wanted to do glitter beard because why not if you're a drag king?
I mean, as long as she's having fun, right?
That sounds itchy and scratchy to me, though. I do not want that.
Am I the asshole for lying about my biggest fear on a quiz show and subsequently winning a car and making other contestants lose?
Not the asshole. Win that money, baby.
This is a hot topic in my family at the moment. I live on an obscure little island near the UK. We have a local quiz show that's aired on the telly that I appeared on a few years ago. The premise of the show is that you can win prizes for doing challenges. Some of the challenges were physical, some psychological, and some required problem-solving skills. I sailed through a lot of the physical part because I wasn't a fat bastard back then. And
I'm sorry, that's funny.
And the problem-solving skills required a lot of math, which is my career, so I was okay there. As for the psychological part, you had to enter a clear box room filled with something you're terrified of, and search through it to find clues to the next part.
Oh yeah, lie. You want to win, lie, and you don't need to be scared. This is a dumb test. Lie your way through it.
I'm sorry. I never agreed to be honest when I went on a game show. Lying is part of the game.
Yeah.
I thought of a believable lie before I entered the show. We had to list 5 things we were afraid of, and I put down all things I'm not scared of. I listed spiders, cockroaches, snakes, scorpions, and woodlice. I literally couldn't care less about any of these creatures.
I was just thinking about what I would lie about, and I'd be like, I'm terrified of snakes, but then I would have a hard time going into a room with snakes and not picking them all up and being like, look at the cute little noodle. You gotta play it to win and pretend that you're scared, and I might have a hard time doing that if I was surrounded by cute little snakes.
It's gotta be believable.
Right?
And you gotta be able to act it up a little. I grew up in a rural landscape, and I've had to pretty much deal with creepy crawlies my entire life, so it's not an issue. My actual fear is a bit more obscure, and I really honestly knew I'd fail if I was put in a room with it. When I entered the room, there were cockroaches everywhere. I was in my boxers and barefoot, which was incredibly gross, I can't lie.
Ooh, because he's squishing them with his feet. Ugh.
Hopefully they're not that everywhere, right?
I bet they were. Because it's gotta be full enough that they could, like, get on him to be scary.
Yes, but also, like, how hard is it to source cockroaches in the UK, I wonder?
I don't know.
Because it's always those, like, Madagascar ones that
giant ones.
That you get the giant ones that appear nicely on a camera and people actually breed. You're not going to get, like, a room full of, like, native cockroaches.
Also, yeah, people don't want you stepping on their nicely bred Madagascar cockroaches.
Yeah, also because then animal people start yelling at you. So there's like camera angles and stuff to make it seem like it's full, but I don't think that the room was just like crawling with cockroaches.
Okay.
I had to sift through and move the cockroaches to find clues for my next challenge. I did it in the time period ascribed to me and got through to the next part. The rest of the contestants failed. Now I won a pretty average car, which I didn't particularly want, so as soon as I legally could, I sold it and made a nice profit since it was pretty much brand new, and bought myself a rather nicer car. I told my family this recently at a drunken night when we were all at a get-together, and although everybody found it uproariously funny, my family is split into two camps. Some people think I cheated and was ethically and morally wrong, and other people think the other contestants deserved to lose if they listed their actual fears.
Yeah, he just played the game better than the other contestants.
I'm obviously in the latter category, but genuinely wondering what others think.
I think not the asshole, and I really don't get the appeal behind those game shows that, like, make you face your biggest fear. I don't like watching people do that.
I mean, I feel like part of it is cringing along with the person, but from the safety of your own couch.
And I hate cringe things, like cringe humor, the word. I don't like cringing to myself in my living room watching TV. I do not like it.
Yeah, but also it adds a good amount of tension to it. I guess it's the same mentality of watching like the Saw movies or something where it's just horror for the sake of horror.
Maybe that's why I don't like horror either.
Reddit says not the asshole.
Okay.
Top comment, the TV producers are producing entertainment. You provided entertainment. Sucks that people lost, but it's a windfall, not an entitlement.
I mean, he had to do good on the other parts to win.
And I stand by the opinion that filling out that questionnaire at the front of the game show was also part of the game.
I don't even know what I would put on one of those things. Like, there's not like a lot of things I'm scared of, like objects. Like, I'm scared of drowning. What are they going to put me like in a water-filled room?
You're scared of clowns.
Oh, I am scared of clowns.
You're scared of Santa Claus.
Oh, I am scared of Santa Claus. Okay, you're thinking of things that I didn't think of. Oh my gosh, if they were chasing me around a room, that would be terrifying.
Right? I think that they would just put you in a room with a scary clown who has a fake knife.
And I was just thinking, like, spiders. I'm cool with spiders. I like spiders. Snakes. I like snakes. Cockroaches. Not a huge fan, but I could deal with those.
No, you're getting a guy in an it mask with a fake knife who's going to run at you.
I'm going to lose.
And jump out of corners.
I'm going to lose if that's the case.
So don't put that on the questionnaire.
Although that clown is also getting punched.
I think that before you go in the room, somebody off camera pulls you aside and says, hey, for the love of God, don't punch them. You know what's going to be in there. So don't punch them.
You would punch them.
If no one warned me, I might.
Is your reflex. I've gotten punched.
You can't keep milking that on this show. That is not the first time you've brought that up. And you deserved it because when you leaned in to kiss me while I was asleep, you did so very threateningly.
Yeah, you just opened your eyes and I was looming over you threateningly and you punched. Reaction.
I'm very sorry.
It was a glancing blow, so it was okay.
I was still asleep, and suddenly there was a face in front of me. I'm sorry that was my reflex. I've done it to my sister's dog as well.
I just wanted a smooch before I left for work.
All right, back to comments, though.
Okay.
Not the asshole. In any game, strategy is key. Planning ahead is an important part. The way I look at it, you were simply being strategic. It's not like you put puppies and kittens as your answer. Although that would be hilarious if they accepted that. Sorry, I can't complete this challenge. I'm too busy rolling around with all these puppies.
Yeah, I mean, he did pick things that most people are scared of. He made it believable, so I don't think he's the asshole.
Am I the asshole for telling my friend that I've accidentally been sleeping with her fiancé?
What? How does one accidentally sleep with someone's fiancé?
Hoo boy, that's a hell of a title, I'm aware. I don't really know how to start this, so I'll just get into it. I'll preface this by saying I'm 22 male, very, very gay. I was in high school when I met this friend, and she was the cool older kid the year above me. For all intents and purposes, we'll call her Sienna, 23 female. Now, after high school, I went to an out-of-state college while Sienna went to the local uni. We kind of lost touch other than obligatory happy birthday and Merry Christmas text messages. So you can imagine my surprise when I got a text from my mom a few months ago saying that a wedding invitation from Sienna had gotten delivered to my parents' house. Sure enough, a quick text to the lucky lady confirmed that she was getting married. Her longtime partner, Marcus, 25 male, had finally proposed. A summer wedding right in my hometown. Right when I and some of our other friends would be back in town from uni. I was invited to one of the pre-wedding girls' nights because my life is that of a two-dimensional comic relief gay side character, I guess. And we got wasted. Like the kind of drunk where logic isn't even in the same dimension. So, when the topic of other people in the girl squad's relationships came up, Like the genius I was, I whipped out my phone to show them the hot guy I had been hooking up with as just a dumb summer fling, who turned out to be Marcus.
Oh no.
Kill me now to save me from the mortification. Rightly so, Sienna lost her shit. Fair, no criticism from me.
How was he supposed to know?
But then she turned on me and started blaming me for ruining her wedding. For clarification, because I'm sure this will come up in the comments, no, the wedding invitation did not have any photos on it. It was one of those minimalist designs with over-the-top calligraphy, that's it. Her socials only feature her. I had no way of knowing what he looked like.
Not any even like engagement photos of them, both of them on her social media. I find this suspicious.
I wonder why Marcus doesn't like being in social media photos.
Yeah, right? Marcus is like, no, don't put me on social media.
I don't personally think I was at fault here, but here's where I think I messed up. I very loudly and to the entire club drunkenly said, "It's not my fault your cheating fiancé likes to get his back blown out, Sienna."
Whoa! Wow, that is a statement. Oh my goodness.
That is a statement. That is a good way to describe that.
How does one recover the friendship from that? I do not think one does.
I feel absolutely awful. I don't want to be the other woman, technically guy, but you get it. And I certainly don't want to hurt a friend like that. I've tried apologizing 1,000 times, but she's not interested in talking to me, which I totally get. When confronted, he confessed to not only hooking up with me, but also 8 different guys over the course of their 4-year relationship.
8? Oh my gosh.
The wedding's been called off. Am I the asshole?
I mean, I don't know why she's mad at you. You helped her dodge a big old bullet.
In the heat of the moment, I can understand why she was mad at you initially. And then afterwards, I can understand why she was mad at that statement you said. We're just going to call it the statement. That was a hell of a statement, my friend.
Yes, I feel like at the time, everybody's drunk when she finds out that her fiancé has been cheating on her with a man.
With 9 men?
Well, she didn't know that at the time.
Okay.
Just with her best gay friend man. Yeah, you'd be mad, but it is easier to blame the person you are not as close with. So this friend she hasn't seen in a while versus her fiancé who she's like in love with and going to get married to. She doesn't want to blame him because then that will ruin their relationship in the wedding. And when you're drunk, that logic makes sense.
Yeah, it sounds like a drunken fight, doesn't it? And also like the type of thing that maybe she needs some time away from you for this to heal a little.
But I feel like she should be thanking you because she found this out before the wedding.
Maybe in like 4 months, she might thank you for it. Especially if you maybe leave a text message saying, "Hey, that was an asshole thing to say. I'm very sorry."
I'm here for you if you need support.
Yeah, but also I'll give you space. Top comment. Yikes, you helped her dodge a bullet for sure. She's just upset now, but I hope that someday she realizes it was all for the best, not the asshole. You did her such a great friend service, and of course your friend was so invested in the marriage that she's in shock and doesn't realize how helpful you were, or else she's very superficial. Or she's emotionally wrecked, doesn't know what to do, how to feel, how to act, so she's lashing out where she can. Namely, the friend who completely, totally, unknowingly wrecked the girl's world. That kind of shit takes time to work through. OP needs to let go of the guilt since this is entirely not his fault. It's okay to feel awful about the whole thing. People definitely should feel awful for this woman. But the only fault going on around here belongs on the fiancé. But OP is the visual image of the moment everything went south, and that is just hard. Time is the Great Healer was meant about situations like these.
Yeah, I agree. He shouldn't feel guilty, but he should understand that his friend may not want to see him for a while.
Not the asshole, even with the drunk comment. Bit over the top, but if I had someone ripping on me, I'd probably go the same route. Curious, is Marcus a common name where you live? I don't think I know anyone with that name, so that right there would have had me wondering. What are the odds of you both being involved with someone with the same name? OP replied to that. We met on Grindr, and he used a fake name on there. Really awesome guy. Totally not a douchebag.
Wow. I was going to say Mark is a very common name. Marcus, not so much, but Mark. I know many Marks.
I know many Marks, but I feel like I only know one Marcus.
I think most of the Marks are Marcuses. They just go by Mark.
I think I cheated and messed up big time.
Uh-oh, what'd you do?
For 2 years, I have always been loyal. Never looked at anyone else. Never even thought of doing something like this. But something happened. And as I write this, my hands are literally shaking and I don't know how to process. A couple of days back, I went to my barbershop. My regular guy, the one who's been cutting my hair for the past 2 years, wasn't around. He was away, busy with something. Another guy waved at me and said, "Come, sit."
No, don't do it. It's a trap.
I should have waited. I should have given it a second thought, but I didn't. Without thinking, I sat down. He started cutting my hair. 10 minutes later, my guy walked in. We had a crazy eye contact moment. I could see it in his face, the disappointment, the betrayal. I don't know. So are they the asshole?
Yes. How long had he been seeing this barber?
I don't think that he mentions a length of time, but long enough to be a regular.
Well, if you're a regular, you do not go and see someone else without letting them know. You schedule ahead of time with your usual barber. And then if they're like, "Oh, I'm on vacation," you'd be like, "Okay, well, who do you recommend?" You don't go to anyone just willy-nilly.
And if you're gonna cheat, go to a different barber shop, man. Like, be a little sneaky about it.
Well, I think he went intending to see his usual, but he wasn't there, and it was just more convenient to get it done now. And no, that's wrong. Don't do that. The betrayal.
He gave in to the temptation of another. Top comment. Just do what everyone else does. Say you were drunk and swear it was just the tip.
Oh, no.
It was just a trim. I slipped and fell into a full-length haircut, I swear.
He just took a little off the top, but you hardly notice.
Somebody actually gives real advice.
Okay.
As a barber expert, this is what you do. You call the shop later on. You ask for your guy, tell them it's important. Get him specifically on the phone. You say, "Hey man, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't know you were there today and I was kind of in a hurry. But I like the way you cut my hair and I want it to be you in the future. Can we exchange cell phone numbers so I can text you when I need an appointment?" That's all you have to do.
You do need to apologize before going back to him, because he'll give you a bad revenge haircut next time.
Or just make an appointment. I don't know of any barbershops that don't do appointments.
Yeah.
Somebody replied to that. Alternative, fake your death, change your name, get plastic surgery, and move. There is no in between.
You just start going to a barber shop in a completely different town.
I mean, did you and your original barber ever have the talk? Was it exclusive? After all, why does he get to see dozens of people a week, but you have to be faithful? It's only fair you get to put your keys in the bowl, too.
This is taking some weird turns.
I love it, though.
When you are paying for a service, you have to know there are others. You aren't his only John.
I'm moving on from this. We're done. Am I the asshole for throwing my rings in the ocean after my husband told me he had an affair, even though it was a prank?
Don't prank people. No, this is what happens when you prank people. I hate a prank. He had it coming.
This is the dumbest thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. This past Sunday, my husband and I, male 29 and female 27, were on our boat together. We were just relaxing and talking and having a good morning. All of a sudden, my husband gets really serious and tells me, "Baby, I'm so sorry, but I have to tell you something. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I had an affair."
I mean, you already said in the title this is a prank, but immediate divorce. I don't care if it's a prank. This is not something to prank about.
For context, my husband thinks he's a comedian. He says dumb shit all the time, but he's never joked about our marriage or relationship or cheating ever. The way he said it, I fully believed him.
He's a good actor, even if he's not a good comedian.
I was blinded by rage and hurt, and I'm not a confrontational person at all, so all I did was stand up, take my rings off, and throw them into the ocean.
That is a rational response.
She went full Titanic.
This symbol of our love? Garbage. Throw it away.
I don't even know why I did it. It was just the first thing I thought of doing. My husband's jaw hit the floor. He immediately started to yell at me that it was a joke, a prank. He wasn't serious and I was an idiot. My jaw dropped then too.
I don't think she's the idiot.
I yelled at him too and called him the same. I cried too, realizing I just threw my lovely and sentimental rings into the ocean.
He owes you new rings. That was a bullshit thing to do.
We've been arguing for days. He says I'm the asshole. I say he's the asshole. And I have no idea who's right. Yes, admittedly, I threw about $10,000 worth of rings into the ocean, and we will never find them again.
Whoa, those were expensive rings.
But he looked me in my eyes and told me he had an affair. I am upset about my rings. I've apologized for throwing them, but I just don't feel like the asshole.
Not the asshole. And your husband's a dumbass.
Dumbass might be a better verdict than asshole. Also asshole, honestly.
I hate pranks like this. What was he expecting would happen?
Right? It's not like you jumped out and yelled boo. I feel like in this scenario, she's gonna start crying.
Causing your significant other, the one you supposedly love, like emotional turmoil. It's not funny.
No, but it was just a prank, bro.
Do other people legitimately find things like that funny?
I mean, maybe from like a third person point of view where you're not either of these people. Because in the instant, maybe husband thinks it's funny that you believed his joke.
I would be offended if somebody believed, well, I guess you are flat out telling them. I was like, I'd be offended if you thought I was cheating. But then if I'm flat out telling you I'm cheating, I guess I can't be offended that you think I'm cheating because I told you I'm cheating.
Right? So she believed his lie, but I feel like husband didn't put any forethought into the consequences of the action because either she calls him a dumbass, which she didn't because she believed him, or she's incredibly hurt by this and then throws all of her jewelry into the ocean. Someone who breaks your heart as a prank isn't someone I'd want to be married to if I were you. You're so young, don't be stuck with this jerk for the next 50 years, not the asshole.
That's what I was saying. Even if it's a prank, divorce.
Somebody replied to that. But the real question is, was it a prank? Or did he really cheat? And when she reacted, he lied and said it was a prank. So which is the lie? I had an affair or it was a joke?
She's so mad she threw her rings in the ocean. She's not forgiving me. I better tell her it's a prank.
She threw her rings in the ocean. I'm next.
I'm next.
Am I the asshole for kicking a girl out of my D&D group?
That's kind of vague. What did she do to get kicked out?
Okay, so I'm in a D&D group with about 9 people. 2 of the people in the group are dating, Sal and Maria. It just came out that Sal cheated on Maria. This prompted Maria to dump Sal, even though Sal wanted to try to make things work. Thing is, though, Maria can't even stand being in the same room as Sal now. Sal's fine.
Well, of course he is.
Which has led Maria to ask us to stop inviting Sal to our bi-weekly D&D sessions for the time being. The problem is that the people in the group are closer and have known Sal for much longer, and we told Maria that she would just have to deal with it. This caused her to flip out over text, so we kicked her from the group chat and told her she couldn't come to D&D anymore as long as she is being this emotional. I told my sister what happened, and she made me feel like shit. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
This one is tough. Sal is the asshole for cheating on Maria, but sounds like this was Sal's friend group first, which means he gets dibs in a breakup. But does him being an asshole cheater change the rules about who gets the friend group? Do we hate cheating so much that we're willing to disown Sal for cheating, just on principle?
I mean, I guess that depends on your friend group. Personally, I think we can look at it even shallower than that and say, you're the asshole for kicking her out of the friend group and calling her emotional.
Yeah, and even if she is emotional, I think it's deservedly so. Her boyfriend cheated on her, and now her friend group is ditching her.
This is the correct time to be emotional. I do agree with you, though. Who the friend group ends up with is sort of like an internal politics thing that is too tangled to unweave in a show.
Yes, I think it is up to the friend group to decide who they go with in the breakup, and it sounds like they've picked Sal, even though he's a cheating butthead.
Because I think Sal probably loses a bunch of points inside the friend group for, cheating on another member of the friend group, but I don't know how the points were distributed before that point.
Yeah, it sounds like he's an older friend than Maria, so usually the friend group sticks with who they've known the longest. Or if someone is just really annoying, they stick with who they like more because the other person's annoying, and they're like, finally, we can get rid of them.
But either way, calling her emotional before you booted her from the group chat, it was not cool. Top comment, Sal's fine. Yeah, of course he is. He was the one that did the cheating. One of your friends got cheated on, you all sided with the cheater, then kicked her out of your D&D group when she was vulnerable and needed support. You're the asshole. Somebody replied to that, my favorite part is how they kicked her out for being emotional. How dare Maria let her feelings for Sal cheating get in the way of a good D&D? Just like a girl.
Ugh, this is why we don't like girls on the campaign.
This is a perfect example of don't shit where you eat. You're the asshole. This mostly comes down to tact over the mechanics of what happened, though. Telling someone who was just cheated on that they should just deal with it and aren't allowed places until they're less emotional is really cold. And it sounds like if Maria was the one who cheated on Sal, you'd have no problem kicking her out of the group. Which isn't necessarily bad. You're clearly closer to Sal. But you're still an ass for how you spoke to Maria. If you had said something like, I'm sorry, but we're still friends with Sal and we can't disinvite him, you would not be the asshole.
I agree. There was a more tactful way to go about this. You could have just said, hey, we're still inviting Sal, and if you don't want to come, you don't have to.
Yeah, we understand that. Sorry that this turned out this way.
But Sal is still our friend.
Yeah, we've all had the friend couple that do the nasty breakup and
tears the friend group apart.
Right? Like, sometimes even the friend group just splits in half. So it's always a nasty situation, and you didn't need to make it worse by calling her emotional.
Well, that's our last story for this cheating episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Stay faithful by hitting that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.